Recession, recession, recession. John, everybody's talking about the fact that there's going to be a recession, and we're talking to clients about how to prepare and what we do to help them prepare, whether they're thinking about it or not. Hi, I'm Bridget Sullivan-Mermel. I've got a family financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shear. I've got a family financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. Before I jump into recession talk, I want to remind everybody, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, help other people find this information on YouTube. And with that, I'm interested in here. I'm curious to know if your crystal ball came out of the shop because you're predicting a recession.
Exactly.
I've been predicting one for 3 years. Maybe I'll be right eventually, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a recession. I don't know when, but maybe now, maybe soon. And so I've been looking into recessions a little bit, and I can tell you that they generally happen every 5 years or 10 years, and they can last anywhere. The most recent one was during COVID. It only lasted 2 months. That was in 2020. So, and then the one before that was in the Great Recession that a lot of us remember in 2008, and I think that lasted until 2011 or so. So that was a 10-year span, and then we just had a 2-month, but usually it's like around every 5 years, but then sometimes you get a little reprieve and you get every 10 years. So, most of our viewers have been through this before, right? And they make the official call kind of after after the economy has started feeling the pain. So it's generally, from my perspective, a lot of it has to do with hiring and employment. And if employment isn't down, it's hard to say that there's a recession. Okay. So if hiring goes down and employment is down, that's when we're going to start really thinking about it. And the latest numbers I saw were that hiring was lower, but it wasn't like it was negative.
Yeah.
Like the global numbers. So we've got that. So what to look for? But a lot of people are talking about it for good reason. I think because people feel afraid. They feel like something's going to happen and it's going to hurt me.
Yeah.
That's fear, right? In a nutshell. So then they think, what should I do? And one thing they could do is hunker down and save some more money. Now, that will probably help them. However, lower consumer spending is probably going to hurt the economy, and everybody doing that could cause a recession. So there's some circular logic, but it might help you, the individual. So It's not going to help the group, but I'm not saying take one for the group on this. Nobody's going to appreciate it. So so the first tip really is look at your emergency funds. Do you have adequate emergency funds? John and I think both recommend at least 10 to 20% of your annual income. We use annual income and a percentage of that because people know what the freaking annual income is. They don't know how much to spend, but they know what their income is. So, what's your annual income? 10 or 20% of that. And then if they're talking about layoffs at my company. I'm a self-employed person. I'm an artist. I'm a contractor. Anything like that where, I hate to break it to you, but you're living on the edge. Have a bigger emergency fund. It's great to be one of those people, but just have a bigger emergency fund. That's fine. And so we say twice. So that means have 20 to 40% of your annual income in your emergency fund. So that's my first big tip, is just make sure you've got an emergency fund, especially if you think you might be affected. And I got to break it to people who are artists, contractors. They might be. They're the first people to get cut, and that's fine. Just save some more money.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. It reminds me of what's the old adage about you've got to put your parachute on before you need it, sort of thing. And right. And you go, hey, when there's times of uncertainty increasing. So, we talked about some of those numbers, 20% of income. And if you're concerned about whether it's your job security or what's going on, if it makes you feel good, maybe you need to have more than that, right? Just for a comfort blanket sort of thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's interesting, Bridget, as you were describing, how the recessions work and those things, what occurred to me is that so much of it is psychological, right? I mean, there's the factual, like, man, if I lose my job, if I get cut as a contractor, I mean, there's the reality, but then a lot of it is just how do I feel about this, right? And so maybe having a bigger security blanket in the form of more cash in the bank helps you feel better and more able to weather whatever storm might be coming. And the other thing that for me was really helpful, I'm glad you brought it up in the beginning, is that, we see a recession every 5 to 10 years. So it's not like, what are we going to do if a recession comes? Like, no, we're going to have recessions periodically. And when it's something to be avoided and something unexpected, that sense of fear and unsettlement and all the other things that go with it are really challenging. But when you go, oh yeah, that's right, periodically I get colds in the winter here in Wisconsin. That's a bummer,
Right,
but I'm probably not dying because like just being able to have some separation from it and go, oh yeah, that's right, this happens periodically. It's not like it's
right,
fun, but it makes it, for me anyway, much less scary when you know what to anticipate.
right, exactly. It's like we get snow in Chicago, they get hurricanes in Florida. It's like it just happens. And when, I don't know, we just got some today. Like I don't know, we just got some, but I don't know when it's going to happen, but it'll happen. It
Right.
just happens. So, and it's not the most pleasant experience generally, but
But it's okay, right?
yeah, it's okay. The
Right.
other thing about increasing emergency funds is I was just talking to some people about this yesterday, and they would like to get a vacation home.
Mhm.
What's expensive right now? Vacation homes. What might go down in price if there's a recession? Vacation homes. I'm like,
Right.
well, it might not make you feel good to get a price break because somebody lost their job and has to sell their vacation home, but you might be able to do that. So there can be silver linings. It can be a great time to act.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking, oh, wow, maybe I want to hire a contractor to get some stuff done, save some money, and then see if there's a recession. They might be more easy to find, et cetera. At least that's how it worked in the last recession.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
For me, as a corollary to the idea of building up a little bigger safety net from a cash standpoint is also, when things are still going well, take a look at where spending is for you. And listen, when things are going well, we don't get too concerned as long as we're meeting our financial obligations and our saving goals. But maybe you start to take a look at, okay, where are places, if I had to make a cut, where would I make a cut in spending? And do I have some elasticity in my budget with
Yeah, that's
things,
a good way to put
right?
it.
And you go, hey, when things are going well, maybe I will. I know buying a vacation home is a pretty substantial investment. Maybe I'll take that vacation overseas because I can, and things are okay. But you know what? If we do hit a recession or I do lose my job or something happens, I don't have to do that stuff, right? That's someplace where I've got some flexibility that now feels like, hey, here's my spending is at this level, but geez, I could cut back should I need to. And again, knowing that I've got some flexibility in my budget, and for me anyway, it's separating out the true needs from the, well, I don't need to have the whatever European vacation, fill in the blank. I need to get away for a little bit, but I can do a driving vacation if I needed to. That sort of thought process gives some, again, for me, it's that mental and emotional wherewithal to go, oh yeah, guess what? If things continue, if things go bad, I'm still going to be okay with it. I don't have to have that sense of panic that sets in because I've already identified. Again, I've put on my parachute before I jumped out of the plane. I put on my parachute that in case the plane crashes, I can jump out and be safe. I go, oh yeah, that's right. Here, I'll cut this out. I'll cut that out, and I've already planned for it before it's a stressful red letter situation.
Yeah, and I would also, along that line, is I would say, what's happened to you during previous recessions?
Uh,
Okay. So I would say during the COVID, that helped my business. The Great Recession, that's when I started my business. It helped my business. Uh, Previous recessions, again, actually for me, financially, they've been kind of a plus. So, but other people might have trauma around there. But
right.
then you can remind yourself, well, what's different about my situation now? like, oh, I lost my job in 1999. Oh, but I'm retired now. What do I care? I don't have a job. Oh, wait, that's right. I don't have a job. And so, and my, income is steady. A recession isn't going to impact me that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking at some of the facts, right?
Yeah, exactly. And just reminding yourself that you might not be in a vulnerable situation, but you might have trauma from back when you were in a vulnerable situation that makes you more afraid than you need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to that, sort of the feelings and the facts are
right.
both really important, but sometimes are two different things, right? And that's really useful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in this situation, it's like, look where you're vulnerable, but don't, it's just part of the financial cycle. And we've been having good times for a long time. So sooner or later it'll happen. I don't know when,
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, it's a great time to wrap it up. I'm Bridget Sullivan Ramel. I've got a fee only financial planning practice in Chicago, Illinois.
And I'm John Shearer. I've got a fee only financial planning practice in Middleton, Wisconsin. Both Bridget and I are taking on new clients. We'd love to hear from you, but we are also both members of the Alliance of Comprehensive Planners. And if you like what you hear on our show and would like to find an advisor that's local to your area that thinks similar to the way that we do, you can check out acplanners.org.
And please subscribe.